Hello, Monsters Abound here and welcome to Exogate Initiative. This is another demo from the Next Fest, currently available on Steam, and you can find this on Steam, download the demo, give it a try yourself. And this game is basically Evil Genius meets Stargate SG1, which is great, because I've always thought Stargate SG1 needed a video game, and there's been several threatened, and it just never happens. So I'm really glad to see that we finally got it. This is very... It's not SG1, but it definitely feels very SG1 like. So obviously, and it feels very Evil Genius like. So you have an underground base basically, and you have to mine stuff out. We've got a little build of robots down there, so you have some objectives to start off with. So build a barracks and a mess. So we're going to start off with that. Something like this over here will be fine. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few of these, because we're going to do a little bit. I'm basically going to dig out all the rooms. I have played this demo through to the completion, so I kind of know what to expect. So I can sort of like build the rooms as I need them, and we can then worry about building the actual buildings later. So your robots will go and mine stuff out. It's very similar to Evil Genius or to Dungeon Keeper, that kind of thing. And once they've mined it out, they'll need to tile the room, and then once the room is tiled, you can then build your general sort of like building tiles on them. And then once your building tiles are there, you can build other things. So once you've built the barracks, you can then put beds and lockers in there, that kind of thing. So small development team of 4 people made this. It's really good. It's coming out in early access sometime soon, the start of this year. I think it has a lot of potential, but I'm always a little bit nervous when games come out into early access, because there's always that chance that development teams sort of loses steam and the game's potential is never realised. And I think that's a real shame. I do realise that if they don't have a publisher, it's the best way to get a game finished. But I still have concerns. However, what I have played with this game, I've really liked. I think even though this is early doors, it's got a lot going for it. So I have high hopes. I do have high hopes this game's going to be great, because I do like these kind of like underground builder games, and I think that the theme of this one's really, really good. So you have your gate. We're gonna build up our rooms here. You're then going to like recruit people. You're going to put them into teams. You send those teams on missions to various different planets, because you have this kind of like map here. So you have Earth in center, and you can connect to any of these planets around it. Once you connect to those planets, it unlocks additional planets and the hexes around it, and so on and so forth. So you can sort of like connect outwards. Along with that, it seems like you're going to run into alien species, because we have this Exogate Initiative here. We've got this, I don't know what this is. It's aliens and artifacts, but we've got a species which is human, and I have towards the end of the demo, you do run into sort of like an enemy, and you have no way to combat that enemy, and the demo finishes soon afterwards. But obviously that's the way the game sort of like, that's the direction the game's heading in, and obviously you're going to get attacked through the gate, which is really interesting. Oh, I've never had this lag before. That's weird. Are you okay? Is it because there's too many robots doing too much stuff, maybe? Okay, well, never mind. What we're going to do is we're going to build a generator room down there. The barracks is going to be over here. So they're busy tiling the room. Oh, we've got the mess hall there, so we'll slap that down there. That's going to be the med bay, which we need to research. You do have a research tree. You gain research points by completing missions, and also by researching samples. In the demo, you only can unlock the med bay and the training room, but to be honest, you wouldn't really get a chance to unlock more than that, because the demo, as I say, does end at a certain point. So we're going to do something like this. That's all fine. And these rooms we can't do anything with at the moment. Anyway. So, the way you make money in this game is that it's quite interesting actually. You have to secure samples from the missions you go on. You then need to research those samples, and the samples are then turned into patent ideas. So there's various different sort of categories of ideas, like bioweapon or textiles or healthcare, so on and so forth. And there's different qualities of the samples that you get back. And obviously, the higher the quality of the sample, the better it is. You can then turn these samples into patents that give you a certain amount of money per month for a certain length of time, about 12 months. And you can sort of like save your samples and like dump them all into one particular patent to get you like more money per month, or maybe do, lots of little patents if you need the cash really quickly. And each month there's different categories of patents that will do particularly well, and certain categories of patents that won't do particularly well. So you kind of like have to potentially like pick your timings with them. So that's quite interesting. So there's definitely, it's an interesting way of doing it. Let's put some lockers down. Something like that will be fine. And we need a couple of these. Also, I probably need a generator or two. Let's do something like that. I will put some tables down as well. Yeah, it's because I've knocked out the power. That'll be fine. It's committee. You get money. You get it's story gump. So we now want to hire 3 scientists. The way we hire scientists is we have to go to the Gators screen, and we go new recruitment campaign. Now there's different types of character you can recruit: scientist, soldier, medic, engineer, scholar, and diplomat. They all have different sort of like classifications, different stats, and they can perform different jobs. But also, once you go on a mission, you get these sort of like story events, and the story events, maybe you get different sort of options. And you may get a different option, say, if you have a soldier there, or if you have a medic there. And also, each character has different sort of like stats. Certain classifications of characters, like a scientist has a lot of logic, for example. A soldier has a lot of body stats, that kind of thing. And it may be that, the story event, you might have one that you need body for. So if you've got a character with good body, you get a higher percentage chance to succeed on that event. That kind of thing. But to start off with, we only have scientists, so we can only recruit scientists. I'm going to whack that up to 10 days to get the maximum amount of scientists, because we're in a current rush at the moment. So we're going to tick along something like that. This is fine. And there's no way to speed the game up, unfortunately. So you just kind of have to sit with... They have said on the forum that they want to make the game to a point where you don't need to speed up time, which is an optimistic, I feel like, an optimistic desire, aim, I guess. Because, so there we have the monthly. So we can see that scientist jobs are down. Food source patents are down, but energy source are up. So if you have energy source, you can do energy source. And we've got a lab here, so we're going to build some labby bits. So we're going to build a sample analyzer. And then we need some biosample containment. So we're going to build like, I think 3 of those are probably fine. We also need a patent writing desk. So I'll put that like there. And a research desk as well. It's going to be useful. So we'll put that something like that. There we go. So we just need to wait for some scientists to turn up. And ideally, I want about... To be honest, I'd probably recruit all of the scientists. And then I get 2 teams. Because the teams are 3 people. Now, this is something I do not like about the game. Each team of people is 3... It's 3 people. Why 3? You need 4 people on a team. That's the number of people on a team. It's a given. You have 4 people on a team. Come on. You can't send a team of 3 people. It's 1 person short. It's insane. Anyway. So that'll give us 2 teams of 3 and then a spare scientist to write patents. Because obviously, you know, you can send... If they're writing patents, they can't go to, you know, brand new worlds, can they? And, I don't know, probably filled with pine trees and shit. But that's not the point. Anyway, so we just have to wait for our scientists to finish recruiting. We put an ad in the paper, basically saying, hey, do you want to go to a new planet? Join here. It's probably going to be fine. Don't worry about dying. That kind of thing. So we need to wait until that ad's gone through, and then we'll get 7 people to recruit from. Obviously, you can increase or decrease that number depending on how much you want to spend or how much, and you know, how long you want to wait. And there we go. Right, good. So we should have 7 scientists. I am just going to recruit all of them. So, we now have all of our scientists. Don't really care how good they are. Not that bothered. Right, so what we're going to do now. We are going to connect to a gate. Now, each of these planets has a different recommended level, different energy cost to connect, threats and so on forth. So we're going to connect to, I don't know, like that one and that one. So we'll just pick 2. And then we'll create a mission. Right, we need to create a new team. We have different icons we can pick from. I'm just going to pick something like that, and you're going to be Reds, and you're Exo1, or Nerd Patrol 1. Then we're going to have... let's have green. Nerd Patrol 2. Okay, but now we need to fill the Nerd Patrols with people, and apparently the only place we can do that is in a different screen. Don't ask me why. So we have you, and you in there, you, and you in there. Perfect. And then we have on this one, yeah, I know, that's fine. Whoever is not in a... Right, Austin, you're doing that one apparently. Good. Right, okay. So now we've got 2 teams. We can create a mission, and we can send you off to there. And we're going to create a mission, and we're going to send you off to there. Right, so now we've got 2 teams of people heading off on their first mission. Let's go investigate the galaxy via gate travel. How exciting. So, we've got Nerd Patrol 1 on the mission. They're going to take 6 days. Now we have Nerd Patrol 2. They are now prepped to go through the gates, and they'll go on their mission. Missions can end up with story events, or they cannot. And there's a bunch of different story events. Ah, here comes Nerd Patrol 1. So, it's Wagner. We stepped through the gate for the first time back there. After a moment of dizziness, I was standing on the surface of planet XC104. My God! Thank God you're alive. That's right, we didn't test this beforehand, we just threw you through. Amen to that, and I can't believe it. There's life here. This place is teeming with plant life, not to mention the constellations above us. You just changed the world. But I think of something memorable to say quickly. I had a line prepared, but this is too much. I've forgotten it. Stay calm, Fabian. You're only being watched on every screen. Flat 3D, VR, HG, from Mumbai to the moon. No pressure. So he's lost a little bit of mental health there. I think I'm hyperventilating. Try and relax. I'm okay. I think I'm good. But I don't know what to say. Can I get a steer? Say something fun. Okay, well, just give me a second to try and regain my composure. Alright, deep breath. Take your time. We're on an alien planet. We didn't need a rocket. Take that, climate change. Just don't mention the initiative's energy bill. And what did we come all this way to find? An alien plant. We can't even eat it. Nicely done, I think. Those words will go down in history. Thank you, XO. That's more nerve-wracking than stepping through the gate. It's probably because you didn't know we hadn't tested it before. Here, how about getting a sample to show on the live stream? That's right, we're live streaming this. How exciting. Good idea. We're spoiled for choice. There's kind of grass here at our feet. There could be mosses in that cave to the west, and to the south is a leafy tree hanging over the edge of a cliff. So, here we have an option. So we can take the grass, but we can explore a cave. That's going to take scientist and knowledge. We've got a 65% chance of that. Let's try it. So it succeeded. We got a bio sample. Everyone gains more experience, and we got some science points earned. Great. Great work. The ratings just went through the roof. Now we have the sample. We can store it in the lab back at base and study it to learn more. Understood. Exo, before we sign off, why don't you say a few words about the wider goals of the initiative? Tell the world what you want to accomplish. I'm all about the caring for the well-being of my teams and staff. I never worked at a better company than this. And I mean, to be fair, this is like your first day. First day on the job, we've just thrown you through a gate, which we didn't know if it worked. So, kind of rings hollow. Anyway, that about concludes the live stream. Care to do a call to action? Yes, please like and subscribe, nerds. All right, that's a wrap. Come on home, team. And there we go. So they complete their mission. They got some experience, no injuries, and we got a sample. Perfect. So if I come back, I'm going to get the sample, put it in the sample container, and then someone will take the sample container out and turn it into the sample study desk. There we go. Now, what that'll do is that'll turn it into a patent thing. What do you call? Yeah, okay. Oh, right, okay. We need to wait until we have a thing. Yeah, okay, thank you. Right. So we've got heat resistance and we've got green. So we can set heat resistance, we can set this green one, and that'll say, based on the writer's knowledge, this is how much we'll make per month. So we do that. Austin will go and write the patent, and then we'll start making some money, which is good. And so what if I had any complaint about, and I've got a few complaints about the game, but basically it's very hard to check up on your people. You just kind of have to guess a lot of the time how they're doing. So we're just going to send Patrol 1 directly on another mission, because the sooner we get some missions under our belt, the better. The more samples we get, the better. And we can't really do anything until we get more samples anyway. Basically, the next part of the tutorial is basically get 5 scientific theories by studying samples. So basically 5 samples before we can do anything else. We need to write a single patent using multiple theories that can earn. So what that means is if you get, like, say for example, we got a green and a grey heat resistance. We could use both of those to write a heat resistance patent. That would increase the amount of value for that patent. And they want us to use multiple theories to create a patent that gives us more than 2,000 money per month. Fair enough. So we're going to send our boys off on missions. Hopefully they don't get eaten, and we'll get some stuff. So we go. So we've got 2 samples there. We've got no story events. The story events can be quite interesting. I've seen several of them multiple times, but some of them are really quite fun. I think the game is going to depend on, like, the replayability of the game is going to depend on how many there are to pick from. If there's only like 10 or so, you know, different sort of like story missions for each difficulty of planet, I think people are going to get bored of it pretty quickly. But if they can, you know, get a whole bunch of them going, I think that could be quite interesting. So we've accumulated enough research points to be able to build the med bay, which is useful because your peeps tend to, like, get injured and exhausted quite a lot. So we're gonna pop that over there, and then we need one of these, something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna put one of you there, one of you there. We get a little desky bit. Let's put you there, something like that, and a screen. Sure, don't know what that does, but fuck it, we'll put it there. Good. So when your peeps get to, like, injured during a mission, they can come back injured. They can come back with status effects like poisons or broken leg or what have you, and they need to then heal up in the med bay. You do need medics for that, so we need to hire some medics now. So we're going to do another recruitment campaign. We're going to be for medics this time. I don't think it needs to be 10 days. I think just like 6 medics will probably be fine. So we'll do something like that. There we go. We have been researching some bits and pieces. So I actually got I've got 4 radiation resistance. So if I do something like this, then I can, so depending on Austin's, because he's the one who's writing these, knowledge. We can get 5,000 to 10,000 a month, which is pretty good. So we'll get him writing that. A bit of radiation resistance there. We've also got a bunch of other samples that we can utilize as well, which is good. So we'll get some medics in here. I'll probably get at least 3 medics. 1 to just work in the med bay, and then 2 to kind of go out with the teams, and then I can potentially like make another team. In fact, if I get like 4 medics, then I can get another team, can't I? Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so we recruited a bunch of medics. We've sent all 3 teams out on a mission now. So we've got Nerd Patrol 1, 2, and 3. They've got 2 scientists and a medic in each of them. So the other guys are just waiting to go out. We've also got a medic in the med bay there, just in case anyone comes back, you know, with an arm missing or something. Meanwhile, Austin has written his patent, so we're now making some money, which is useful. We can always write more if we want, but I think I'm okay at the moment. I'm going to save those 2. But what we do want to do is to research the training room. So let's set that off. How many research points have we got? We've got 59, so we don't quite have enough research points at the moment. Oh, hello, Nerd Patrol 1. We found ourselves in the middle of a giant hedge maze. Is this evidence of intelligent life? How can you tell it's a maze? Mazes usually have something at the centre. Our thinking too. We could really use some guidance. Left, right, or straight ahead? Hello, right. Okay, there are more passages leading on, but now the hedges have fruit hanging from them. Interesting. Investigate. The fruit looks like a pineapple crossed with a dragon fruit. There's a bushy head to this thing. Ow, it pricked me. Move on, Nerd Patrol 1. You're still in a maze, remember? Next junction. Left looks like a long straight path, and right slopes down pretty steeply. Let's head down. Here we go. We're beneath the rest of the maze. It's like a path was dug out. The walls are solid earth. We can see the hedge's roots. They're pulsating. Don't get distracted. Keep going. There's still no end to sight. There's a couple of paths to the side. Path 1 is dark, but there's some sort of natural glow at the end. Path 2 emerges into the light, but there are loud noises coming from that direction. The lights. It's the gate. We're back at the AP. How did that happen? Sounds like a lucky break. Absolutely. I was starting to wonder if we'd ever get back out. We'll analyze the data we've gathered on our return. What a fascinating construction. We will... we'll continue. It's fine. Okay, we probably didn't get anything from that. It's just a bit of a shame, but never mind. We've still got some samples to research, actually. So we've now got our training room there, which means we can recruit some soldiers. So let's do something like that. Get some soldiers in there. What I have noticed is if you build the rifle range, that people will, rather than like resting and stuff, they'll go and do the... If there's a whole bunch of people in the med bay, the medic will go and decide to start training his rifle skill rather than actually, you know, helping someone with a broken leg, which is an interesting flex. But there we go. So apparently you can get like live specimens fauna as well as flora. I've never got that far, to be honest, because well, the demo's quite short, but you can see that our medics are now, and medics and scientists are now working out, which is very nice to see. Getting them big gains. And we've got some stuff we could write patents for, so we can like slap these together there. Let's do that one. And that one. Get Austin doing some patents, getting some money coming in, because we got like, 10,000 coming in. That's not bad. It's a couple of patents. That's fine. And we'll get some soldiers, put them in our squads and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that's basically the demo, really. You get your teams, you send them off. I will say, like, managing the teams is quite unwieldy. You do get this, like, bar of people along here, but obviously it's very hard to see. It's very hard to see people at a glance. You can't see, like, I'd like to see stats and like be able to, like, see who's the most injured or stuff. But you don't really get that, which is a shame. But obviously, you know, it's only just going. There's a demo. It's just about to go into early access, so there's plenty of polish that needs to be done. And eventually, the demo will end when you come across some robotic squids. And then they come through the gate. So basically the gate activates and the robotic squids actually come into your base. And at that point the demo will end, because I'm guessing that they haven't actually got the combat sort of like worked in yet. It does look like there are guard posts and weapon racks. So I'm assuming that at some point, you know, maybe you need soldiers to like deal with potential incursions, that kind of thing, which could be quite interesting. You know, maybe there should be automated defenses and stuff. I think what Evil Genius had going for it was that the fact you had that sort of like you were on an island, right? And you could kind of see the island going on around you. Whereas this is it's just a big grey blob. And occasionally you get like, you know, rock here, which you can't build into. That does seem to be randomized. Again, it's not a finished game, so it's kind of to be expected. But it is a very interesting game, and I like the aesthetic. I like the idea of like exploring new worlds and all that kind of stuff. I will say that I'm not sure about the one mission per planet thing, unless there's some sort of expanding on investigating a particular planet. It does seem like the planets are just randomized, so I guess you couldn't really unless the story missions were like set to a particular planet and they could go further. Like there's like tiers of missions that you could maybe do. Like, you know, you went to the maze, they found out more about the maze, you sent another mission, and they, you know, learned where the maze originated from, and he did another mission, and so on. So there was sort of like multiple tiers of particular missions on a particular planet. That would be quite interesting. But generally, I quite like this. You can play the game where you don't have those story events, and it literally is just a case of sending people through the gate and they come back with samples, potentially. Fine. I think you're missing out on a huge portion of the game if that is the case. But, you know, I guess if you're more interested in the management portion of the game than that, you know, fair enough. That's up to you. And it's nice that they give you the option, so fair enough. So, Exogate Initiative. I really like this. I hope it's good. Please make it good. Also, please let there be 4 people in a team. I don't know why you wouldn't have 4 people in a team. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.